We're back.
For like
Oh,
motorsports podcast, we are really bad at like consistently covering motorsports.
we are, but we're gonna get better at it. We just have
Yes.
life. We have life coming up.
Yeah, we have
Life
this.
happens.
Yes, you're getting
So
married. I was working every Tuesday.
you were. So summer shootout's over. I'm still in the thick of things, but still, either way, we're back. Flag to Flag podcast, episode. I want to say 24 at this point. Uh,
23. I thought,
25, episode
wow.
25. Yep, we're at a quarter of a century here at the Flag to Flag podcast. Hope you all are doing well. Um, we are going to cover really quick. Just going to get this out of the way. We're covering NHRA, IndyCar, F1, local, and NASCAR news from the last month and what we have coming up this week in the racing world, which is really just the Cup Series, just NASCAR, because F1 and IndyCar are still off on their summer break. First and foremost, though, Chad, howdy, how are you?
I'm good.
You're in a different scene, so it looks like you're right down
Once
the road from
again,
me. Yeah.
yeah, scenes have been changing a lot, and they probably will for the next couple months, but that's just part of it. So yeah, I am back in Nashville at my mom's house, chilling out, taking some time off from school. Literally, if I opened up the window right in front of me and John did the same, we could probably have a conversation. We are
Absolutely, we could.
literally 2 minutes down the road from each other, which is insane. But yeah, I've just been chilling. Summer shootout's over, which it's bittersweet. Uh, it's a very grueling process, and so it's like it's good just to kind of take a deep breath from it and everything. But at the same time, I love going out there. I love having fun. Bubba Wallace, who raced in the series, is actually releasing a series on his YouTube channel about him racing there. So that'll be
Oh,
really
cool.
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 And then excuse me, I'm also been fighting a cough, but
Mm.
yeah, and I can tell this summer break has been affecting you, John. I mean, I wake up, I look on the Motorsports Enthusiast Instagram story, and you're making coffee.
Bro, let me tell you, you
Is
got to
there
get
really
creative.
anything to talk about?
You got to get creative, and let me just tell you, I've gotten a lot of responses. I've gotten a lot of yeses, and surprisingly, a lot of nos. I guess coffee is one of those things where either you're a coffee person or you're not a coffee person.
Made some
Um,
Italian espresso this morning, basically every morning.
yep, I do. I make it every morning in my mocha, bro. It's good. It's
There
good.
you
It's
go.
strong, but it's good. I'll be doing that before I hit the gym after our shows. So yeah, summer
How are
break.
you?
We're here. Good, 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 good.
You got
We
a
made a
birthday
trip.
coming up soon?
I swear I thought you said I have a birthday coming up soon, and no, it's not my birthday. My birthday's
February 24th.
6 months. It's my half birthday this month on the
There you go.
24th. Half birthday. I'm not turning 26. Wow. Whoa. Time out. Time out. Time out. Time out. That just hit me a little hard there. I'm getting old. Not really. Um, but
It's
no, yep.
February 24th, isn't it?
Yep, it is. It
There
is.
you
It is.
go.
It is. Yeah. So, um, yeah, getting married this month, and I'll be off for an entire month, which means you'll probably have to do some solo episodes by yourself, which is great. Which is great content. We've thought about doing solo episodes before, so this could be a time to do that. Then I'll
It's
be back ready to go in October. What do you
Yeah,
say?
I think it's more or less going to be more of an experiment. Just be like, hey, what do people think? Because the big thing with us is that you provide a fan perspective, and I provide more of an industry perspective.
Correct. Yep.
Now, I'm not as deep in the industry as some other people are. I'm
Right.
still trying to work my way up this ladder, but so yeah, but it might be good just to kind of do that. Just hey, see what happens. But yeah, you
It'll be
getting you
fun.
getting excited, man?
I am. It feels it's weird because we've been together so long. I'm excited, but then again, I have individuals that I know that have been together, for a seventh of the time that Sophia and I have, and it's a totally different situation. So yes, I'm stoked. I'm ready, but it's like it's about time. You know what I mean? Like it's about time to get it done. We've been dating 7.5 years now, so we got that coming up here at the end of the month in about 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks. So still time for that. Then You'll be a part of that, obviously, so that'll be exciting. That'll be fun. And
After
we're
the wedding, you're gonna go on Instagram, look at the like. Why is there a story on the flag to flag page? It's just gonna be me filming you guys kissing. I'm kidding.
literally all flag to flag content is just going to be Chad filming me and Sophia at the wedding. That's going to be that content for the day. So,
I'm
yeah,
excited.
that'll be fun.
Well, I'm actually really excited for that. It's I've gotten to know you and Sophia pretty well, and I'm excited for y'all. The bachelor trip was super fun. Tell them what. Tell
Oh
them.
no, we're leaving. What happens in Austin stays in Austin. Um, Bachelor trip was very, very fun. Went to Joe Rogan's comedy club, Comedy Mothership. Incredible for the most part, except for a couple people. Some of the jokes just didn't land. And it's still great. Great experience. We did some go-karting. K1 Chad beat me all 3 times. It's fine though. We got flipped off. We got flipped off by like a 10-year-old, but it's fine. It's whatever.
Was a go kart for that weekend.
We played some very intense pool. We played some very intense poker. And it was a great time. It was very, very fun. And then I was a chauffeur all freaking Sunday long, driving people back and forth to the airport. I traveled to and from the airport 6 times that day. 6. For you, for 2 other people, for 1 other person, for I guess 5. I guess 5 times. And dude, when I tell you that airport was backed up at 3:30 in the morning for security, it was backed up probably for about 40 minutes. We were in line in security. It was nuts.
Not one bit. I was talking about what happened when we went to a certain racetrack.
Oh yeah, Coda. Oh my God,
That's what I was trying to get.
Coda. Time out. We went to Coda. Oh shit, I'm getting too excited now. Went to Coda. Went to Coda. Gonna experience the track. It's cool, and then everything. We drive around, and you go. Oh, the tunnel's right there, and so we passed the tunnel. Like, okay, we'll circle back. And then I was like, as we were coming back, I was like, let's go through the tunnel. And it was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, let's go through. You were like, yeah, let's go. So we make a hard
turn around.
Exactly. Made a hard right turn. They didn't stop us. And now we're in the infield of Coda, and we're just driving around, go through one side, come back through the other. I thought you were referring to another incident, but either way, just really quick. Anyways, we were driving through, come back, and we go through. We're about to be at the S's, essentially, at Coda. Oh my gosh, I don't have one with me.
What incident? Golf?
Yeah, use context clues, Chad. use context clues. Golf.
Yeah, we went to Top Golf. Oh!
I was like, come on, man, you got to be ready for that. Okay, so
leaving Top Golf when that happened.
Yeah, exactly. So, as we were at Coda, we were going through the S's, or we're driving on the road by the S's, and we stop, and we're like, okay, we're just gonna go up on the bridge. So we walk up on the bridge, really, really cool. Got some clips, probably gonna snip it with this, and then me, you, and Daniel, we were like, hey, there's another opening across to basically the infield per se, if you want to consider it, where some of the grandstand seating is. Let's go check it out. So it was open. We walked up there, went across. Very, very cool. And so we get over there. We start looking around. We go up into one of the grandstands, sit down, and we were just taking it all in. Like literally, we were sitting in the grandstand at Coda. Nobody's stopping us. Obviously, it was open, and we were noticing though. Back up just a little bit, we were noticing as we were driving that there were some specific haulers there that I recognized as WEC haulers, World Endurance Championship haulers, specifically Cadillac. Specifically, there was a Lamborghini hauler there. Specifically, some of the IMSA cars too. Specifically Porsche, specifically Ferrari, and I was like, "That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why are they there?" Because it was the exact hauler. Like, that's interesting. Context, we did not look up if there was anything happening at the track that weekend. We literally were just trying to figure out something to do, and I was like, I want to go to Coda just to see it. Let's go to Coda. So fast track all the way back up to where we're sitting in the stands. We're just sitting there taking it all and literally sitting at Coda. It was such a cool experience. So walk down the stands, and Daniel hears something, and he's like, okay, we gotta hold on. So we start walking down, and we kind of stop and like kind of hide a little bit.
Though we were like, security was coming to get us.
Something. And he heard, and we stopped for a second, and we were like, okay, what could it be? And I didn't hear a thing, by the way. I didn't hear a thing. And so he was like standing there, he was like, okay, cool, we're good to leave. And so we start walking away. The next thing you hear, engines fire. And we heard engines fire. We all looked at each other like the fucking Spider-Man meme and make a beeline towards the grandstand. I almost wiped out. Okay,
I do remember that you.
I almost ate it. I mean, I almost ate it bad on gravel. It was gravel, so that was going to tear me up. Either way, we run towards the grandstand because we're like, we got to get a vantage point of what's happening. Next thing we know, we're going to snip it right here. It's probably playing above my head. We see cars on track. I almost start crying.
I look over. John's like trying his hardest not to cry. What the hell's going on? I'm just happy to be here.
It was like, holy shit. And so we're sitting there watching probably some of the most expensive race cars in the world, specifically Cadillac for the WEC, for IMSA. You had Ferrari there. You had Porsche. You had
Not
all
just
these.
any Ferrari.
The Ferrari that won the 24-hour Le Mans. Yeah, exactly. The actual drivers there on track. And we're like, holy shit, what is happening? So we watch that for a second. We go back down. We go across the bridge, get a really cool clip of them coming under us there. And literally in the most insane thing to ever happen, because the second we heard that, we like our jaw, I don't know if you remember your face. I remember seeing you and Daniel's face, and we all were like, holy shit. And either way, go ahead.
Well, we did our research afterwards, and it was a Michelin tire test for the upcoming
for the Lone Star Le Mans at COTA in September.
Because I thought at first it was a private test, but then I was like, well, if it's a private test, why are there multiple different manufacturers out here?
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense. So yeah, they were doing a tire test though. But we had no idea. Like, I didn't look up anything. I was like, hey, let's just go to COTA. We're 15 minutes away. We tried to get into the Tesla plant. We got kicked out.
I was surprised at how secure that place was.
Let me tell you, Tesla locks their shit down. Also, prepare for some explicit content. Excuse me. Sorry if I'm offending people with all of my curse words.
We don't care.
I don't care. Either way, Tesla was locked down. We tried to get in. They say, hey, we can't. Sorry. But, hey, you can go on this bridge to view. And we're like, nah. And I was like, hey, COTA's 15 minutes away. Let's go. Had no idea what was going to happen there. Also, I didn't realize this, though. COTA, you know how they have gas carts? They don't have electric. They're gas.
Yeah, we went past the track and I saw them.
I thought they were electric.
So where did you think the noise was coming from?
I knew it was coming from the track. I'm talking about the carts. The carts.
Yeah. You didn't hear the motors of the carts?
I did, but I didn't register until like after.
Okay.
Because when we were at K1 the next day, I was like, wait a second. That sounds a lot different than what we just saw. But yeah, they were gas. Either way,
this is gonna be good. My mom is currently calling me.
Oh goodness. Go ahead.
Hey mom, you're currently live on the Flag to Flag podcast.
Oh, well, you want to call me when you're done?
Yeah, it'll be a little bit. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I just wanted to check in with you.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing all right. Well, I appreciate it.
Call me later. Bye.
All right, bye. Little hiccup right there, but what do you say we get into it, John?
Let's do it. All right, so starting with NHRA John Force update, I believe you have an update on the GOAT of drag racing. What do you got for us regarding NHRA? We'll move to IndyCar, F1, local, and NASCAR. But starting with John Force.
I do. If I can get to the photo here. Here it is. So, John Force has moved out of intensive care and is continuing to progress. This is in Richmond, Virginia, and this was July 5th. Less than 2 weeks after drag racing champion John Force suffered a traumatic brain injury, among other injuries that included a fractured sternum and a right wrist injury following an engine explosion that sent his funny car into a concrete guard wall at over 300 miles per hour. Doctors acknowledged his positive responses to treatment. He was moved out of neurointensive care and into acute neurocare at the hospital where he was transported by air ambulance on June 23rd. The latest upgrade was welcomed by the Force family members, who have maintained a presence at the hospital since the 16-time NHRA champion's arrival, but medical professionals emphasized once again that the journey ahead will be a long and difficult one. Although John Force is still dealing with cognitive and behavioral symptoms from his traumatic brain injury, the fact that the Hall of Fame driver can converse with medical staff, family members, and John Force Racing President Robert Hight, who flew in this week, is an encouraging sign. However, there have also been periods of confusion, which doctors say require time and patience to treat. Also noteworthy, sorry, it's cold. Also noteworthy was the fact that the 75-year-old grandfather of 5 has regained his equilibrium to the point that he has been able to start walking with the assistance of medical staff members. According to family, the next step for the man whose career has spanned 6 decades likely will be a move to a long-term facility specializing in traumatic brain injuries and associated systems. A time frame for the move has not yet been determined. That was July 5th, and that is the last official statement that has came out. Since then, we have seen pictures on Brittany Force's page, and it's and this was the last update, which came on July 23rd. A post of Brittany Force, looks like another one of his daughters, and John Force looks like he's all dressed up, suited to go, but it says, "Peace out, Phoenix. After 30 days, my dad is finally heading home where he will continue outpatient therapy. These next steps to recovery will definitely be a family effort. Here's some pictures from our time in Phoenix." And so they posted some pictures, all of them. And yeah, so it looks like they've been spending a lot of time in the hospital. But just to see that smile on John Force's face is very, very good, and it is very fantastic to see a 16-time 75-year-old still pushing 330 miles an hour.
The GOAT.
The GOAT of
the GOAT.
Not just NHRA, of drag racing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is absolutely insane. But
well, good to hear.
But yeah, I think the big question is now, and I think the big question, obviously there's a lot of things up in the air with John right now, but as I was reading that, I was thinking to myself, will we ever see him back in a car?
I mean, it depends on. I mean, everybody wants to say yes. It depends on his physical ability. It's obviously it's a long road, but again, I think it's John freaking Force. I mean, he's going to want to get back in there if he can. If they clear him, I think he'll be back.
Yeah, I don't think there's a doubt that he wants to get back in a car, but I think it's also a matter of his physical abilities. I mean,
right.
It's a TBI, traumatic brain injury. I mean, that is a serious injury. I mean, I've had a few concussions throughout my time in racing, and the last thing we did was push the issue.
Exactly. So with something that's serious, you gotta be so careful.
I got to see him race in Charlotte. So if he doesn't, that'll be sad. But at least I got to see.
Hey, there you go. I mean, at least once. Yeah, absolutely. So well, good to see that. Glad to hear that from him.
We will be continuing to give updates throughout as they come in. But yes, prayers out to the Force family, especially John. And but I think it's time for us to get into IndyCar. What do you say?
Let's do it. So IndyCar, a lot's been going on since we have last talked. So specifically, starting with the Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio Pato Award, got the dub there, and that was on July 7th. You had Scott McLaughlin and Will Power win the doubleheader at Iowa. Scott McLaughlin race 1, Will Power race 2. And then this also comes into some notes that we have on July 19th. Pato Award raced with a heavy heart in Toronto after his spotter Bob Jeffrey lost his battle with cancer before the race there in the Honda dealers Indy Toronto. Yeah, that was a great race for Colton Herta. The first time a driver has gone, technically not flag to flag, but has led every official practice, qual session, or race. First time it's ever happened. Crazy that's how that happened with Colton Herta. So, with that being said, looking at we got 5 races to go. You have Worldwide Tech, you have Portland, Milwaukee Mile, doubleheader, and then finishing up with, obviously the greatest race of the season at Nashville Super Speedway, the Music City Grand Prix. The great, well, what's the first? Ally?
Oh, at Nashville? I thought you meant the second greatest race of the year for IndyCar.
Oh, no. I was just being very biased towards Nashville Super Speedway.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
Yeah. No. So that's what's been going on there. I mean, looking at really quick the standings, Alex Palou, top of the standings, leading. Will Power, Scott Dixon, Colton Herta, and Pato O'Ward. Joseph Newgarden, as much as we love to say it, he's going to have a miracle to come back and win this thing. I don't think there's any mathematical chance for him to do that, especially with that penalty that he got. So right now, Alex Palou is in prime position to win the chip. Absolutely. Will Power and Scott Dixon, though, I mean, a couple bad races from Alex Palou, and Will Power could be back up in there because all 3 of those drivers have 2 wins. And looking at the consistency is there with Alex Palou. 10 top 10s, 10 top 5s, 3 poles, 2 wins.
Let's take a look at who's sitting in third place at 358 points right now, Scott Dixon.
Yeah.
All right. He's got a shot to join an elite club in motorsports this year, the 7-time championship club. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, Lewis Hamilton, Michael Schumacher, Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt Sr., Jimmy Johnson. Could we see Scott Dixon join the group in there?
He's going to have some help. His consistency hasn't been there. But again, a couple more top 5s where Alex Palou doesn't have them. You're looking at a point shift, and it's not like he can't win. He's tied for the most wins of the season right now. It's just he's been able to finish in the top 10, but his top 5s just haven't been there comparatively to Alex Palou, a 7 to 10.
Which we're getting to the later part of the season, this is where we really see Scott Dixon light up. I mean, we saw it last year. We've seen it in years past. The end of the season, don't know what it is. Something flips inside that Australian's brain, and he just starts knocking off good finishes. And, I know you're a fan of trends, John. Could we see another trend like this today? It's a possibility. Who knows? But, or later throughout the year. But yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting championship battle. I'm still working. I'm needing to make sure that I'm going to be home in time to check out the Grand Prix, because I will be in Charlotte working for the NASCAR Youth Series, and then I will probably be flying as soon as I'm done there to Nashville, and then be going to the race. So John will be sipping wine in Italy.
I will be making content on the days that I work. So I'll be making content for the motorsports side of things. I may do some flag to flag collabs just to get posts populated. So what were you going to say?
You traditionally when we went to the trip in Austin, you made a bunch of content leading up to it and then progressively post it. I think it would be a great idea, dude. Get the beautiful Italy in the background. You got beautiful Italy.
I'm out here outside the Coliseum. Hold on. When's the Bristol race? Timeout. I may have a beautiful.
Wait, I just thought about that. Hold on. When is
Bristol? Where is Bristol? Bristol NASCAR schedule. They are racing. I think it's not October. What? September 18th. Okay, timeout. We're doing some checks. Are we going to be in Rome? That would be sick. It's probably been done. But let's see. Let's go to our travel thing right here. Okay, am I going to be in Rome? Are we going to be in Rome? The time. So what was the date again? The 8th?
I think he said the 18th.
Okay, double check that for me really quick.
Okay.
Hold up.
No way. I like how this stuff always happens on the fly.
Where?
And for those who don't know, because I do know that there are people who aren't familiar with motorsports who do listen to this podcast. My mom told me because she said a few of her friends. So hi, Miss Patty, if you are listening to this episode.
Shout outs.
But the reason this is a big deal for the Roman Coliseum is because Bristol Motor Speedway's nickname is the last great Coliseum, which is September 21st.
So I'll be in Rome. We'll be in Rome from the 13th to the 17th. So I'll be able to grab a video beforehand because the 17th is going to be, I think, a Wednesday. If I'm not 17th, yeah. So the 17th
area, right?
Rome?
Yeah, Rome.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna be like, "Don't embarrass me, please."
Good luck. I will have the Coliseum in the video for that. It's cool because it's the week leading up to the race. So like the race is that week. Perfect.
Well, hey, if you get a shot while you're in Italy, go visit like a go-kart track or something like that. Just mainly because European go-karting is so more intense and different than what we have over here in the States.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely. And one thing that I'm very, very upset about, and we could talk about this once we reach that point in the show, talking about Formula One and talking about the race that is coming up.
Monza
is the day after the wedding.
When are you flying out?
The second.
So what are you gonna do on the first?
Relax and get ready to fly 13 hours, 17 hours, whatever it is. We saw that and we were like, you gotta be kidding me. But either way.
Who's taking y'all to the airport? Who's taking y'all to the airport? I'll take y'all. You want to ride with me to the airport?
I think one of our moms is gonna take us. Sorry, shit.
We want to make it to Italy in one piece.
I would like to make it to the airport without dying. So
that bad.
Either way. So yes, I'll be making a Coliseum video for that week.
That's good.
Perfect. Okay.
Before we move on from IndyCar, I do want to say this. When I was flying from Austin to Charlotte, I watched a movie on the plane called Lionheart. And it's about Dan Weldon.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about how he got to the point he was, but also how his family has coped with everything.
That's cool.
Afterwards. And I just want to say, from my personal experiences throughout this last year, I was trying so hard on the plane not to start crying. Like, it got me choked up. If you have a chance, check it out. It's called Lionheart. It follows Dan Weldon's career and then also his kids' go-karting career as well, which is super cool. I got the opportunity to see them race at Indianapolis.
No way.
They raced quarter midgets, and they raced at Indianapolis, and one of the kids won. So that was super cool.
Wow.
To watch that. But yeah, moving on, I think it's time for Formula One.
Yeah, really quick, just backing up just 1 second. Alexander Rossi did break his thumb.
Yes.
At a crash. And Theo Pourchaire subbed in, and also Jamie Chadwick did an IndyCar test, or will be doing an IndyCar test, at Barber in late September. That's exciting. I think she has potential. To make it into IndyCar with how she's doing in Indy Next. I mean, she's
You want to know
good.
The only reason I'm a fan of her?
Because of Chad. Because Chadwick.
That's my name.
Yeah, I know. I don't refer to it as
for those who don't know, my name is Chad, but my legal name is Chadwick.
Chadwick Baca.
And I didn't know that it was that until third grade. All right, moving on.
Formula One.
Formula One.
So we've had a very exciting 3 weeks because Mercedes has won 3 of the last 4, 2 of the last 3. Hamilton now has 2 wins on the season because he won in the British Grand Prix. He also won the Belgian Grand Prix. And we also had a little bit of a controversy within the Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris win in Hungary.
I guess I kind of missed that. because it kind of flew over my head a little bit. I had another friend kind of explain it to me, but I was like, what the heck are you talking about? What's going on? So yeah, go ahead.
So in the race, Piastri was leading, and they were trying to prevent the undercut from Lewis Hamilton, and they pit Lando instead of Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
Lando benefited from that. Oscar didn't. And essentially, they were saying, in the benefit of the team, if for the team as a perspective, it would be better, Lando, for you to let your teammate through to win the race. That's the whole thing behind there. And there's a lot of things going on from a total team perspective. Basically, Oscar got screwed out of the strategy. Lando benefited from it. They made a mistake within the strategy. They should have pit Oscar instead of Lando. And this is completely water under the bridge at this point. I got ripped to pieces on social for this opinion, but I'm not a huge fan of people being entitled to positions. Strategy, yeah, even if they did pit the wrong guy, even if the wrong guy benefited from the strategy, oh well. I mean, no one's entitled to a specific position. Yes, Oscar got Lando on the jump. Yes, Oscar was arguably the faster car. But again, a race is a race. You have to let it play out. You can't artificially change it. I don't like the altering of a race finish. Just because a strategy benefited somebody else that it didn't benefit the other driver. Granted, totally agree with people who think that Lando benefited from the strategy and Oscar got screwed. Absolutely. Welcome to fucking sports.
Yeah.
Mic drop. Sorry, I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
I've made my statements in the past about how I feel about certain things about Formula One compared to other motorsports. And yeah, it goes back to what you say. It's a race. Let them race.
Exactly. And no matter whatever the situation is, like, let's say, okay, the strategy just completely went haywire. Okay, you have somebody who benefits, you have somebody who doesn't. Yeah. Like, it's that black and white. You don't need to flip it just because it's better. And here's the other part of this, the deeper thought about this. Oscar is always going to know that his first win was handed to him. Call it like it is. Say whatever you want. That's exactly what's going to happen. Your win got handed to you. Just saying.
I don't know. And, you say that, within that, it's hard because of, there's only one time I've been okay with it happening. I forget where it was, but it was Ferrari versus Mercedes. And I think it was Sebastian Vettel was leading. We had Bottas in second and Hamilton in third. And they were like, all right. Hamilton was like, I think I've got a shot at Vettel. So they swap positions. Hamilton gets his shot at Vettel. It doesn't work out. So on the last lap, not prompted or anything, Lewis gives the spot back to Valtteri.
Yeah.
Once again, say what you want about Lewis Hamilton. Okay? There are certain views on certain subjects that Lewis Hamilton has that, personally, I might not agree with. But I will say, without a shadow of a doubt, statistically, looking at the numbers, he is the best driver in Formula One ever. Statistically.
Especially, yeah. Yeah, no question about it.
And he has respect when he's on the track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I do like more of a Max Verstappen approach. Just elbows out, getting down and dirty with it. Then again, I've grown up around NASCAR. I've grown up around local short track racing. That's what I'm used to. That's what I love.
Yeah.
But to see something like that, to see some sportsmanship, it's very nice to see. And with this last weekend I had almost having to break up a fight between parents, it's sometimes good to see some sportsmanship. But
yeah.
But yeah, so that would be the only instance that I would kind of be okay with it. But it's a race. Let them race.
Exactly. And the thing was, Oscar, and because Lando benefited from it, Lando was pulling away at the end because he had the better strategy.
Lando's also second in points right now.
So that was my whole thing too. I understand enhancing the team as a whole. I get it. Like, obviously, it looks a little bit better to have, one driver or both drivers with wins versus one with more and one with none, or one driver with wins, one driver without wins. I get it from my numbers perspective, but from a championship perspective, Lando's the only person right now that can battle really Max. And let's be real. I mean, Max, the last
car that can keep up with somewhat keep up with the Ferrari for the Red Bulls.
The last 4 weeks, though, it's been Mercedes getting a win. Obviously, keep in mind, one of those was Lando and Max just absolutely screwing themselves over. But, I mean, you have to think about it. Mercedes, this past race, should have had 1-2, but with George's penalty, knocked him out.
Which we'll talk about that, which I have my...
the weight thing with... Yeah.
Yeah, the weight thing, look... I have 2 jobs. I am an official for the NASCAR Youth Series, and I am also a crew member for the Race Driven Performance Legends of Bandolero car team.
Yeah.
With the NASCAR Youth Series job, my job is to uphold the rules and apply them when necessary. But with the Legends of Bandolero cars, which is a completely separate rule book, completely different sanctioning bodies and everything, it's a completely different car. Part of my job, or part of everyone's job in all of racing, is to find the gray areas, and is just to push that limit. Now, with that being said, you also have to look at rules are rules. There's black, there's white, then there's gray. All right? Finding the gray area, that's, in my opinion, that's completely fine. All right? Finding the area of the rule that says, it doesn't say we can do it or we can't do it.
Yeah.
All right? That's what made NASCAR so great in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah, everybody was pushing the limit because there was so much gray that you could,
But rules are rules. There is a minimum weight requirement that has to be met at the end of the race.
Right.
He did not meet that minimum weight requirement, therefore he is disqualified.
Yeah.
So to the people on F1 Twitter
or TikTok
or anything who are saying that the FIA is biased towards Lewis Hamilton, no.
Just no.
No, it's no.
Yeah.
Rules are rules, all right? I hate it for George Russell. It's happened to friends of mine. It's happened to me, not in a winning scenario, but in a top 3 scenario.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, I remember there was one time in Quarter Midgets, I had gotten a podium, and it was a really rough year for us. I was like, sweet, this is great. And then they measured our ride height on the car, and it was too low. And it was an honest mistake. My dad, he was more or less upset with himself because he's like, how did I let that slip? And they disqualified us, which, was I upset that it happened? Yes. But my dad made sure I understood it sucks that it happened, but we broke a rule, and we're paid for it. These rules are in place for a reason, so that, I mean, it's here. I hate it for George Russell. I know it hurt him in deep side. Once again, hats off to Lewis Hamilton for being like, don't know. Lewis Hamilton said, I'm not sure how I feel about this. It's good that, we got to win and we're making that step forward, but I hate it for my teammate.
Yeah.
Because that's happened to me and teammates before where I'm like, I'm happy I got a good finish, but it sucks for my teammate. But yeah, I mean, that's my 2 cents on it. You can give your remaining $4.98 if you want, John.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's a lot. That's more than I typically get on the show with you. But anyways,
I've been working.
I know you've been good. Here's my thing. Like, I understand the weight in there. Apparently, he did not have the same amount of marble buildup on his tires, which does affect weight by a couple kilograms. So that I think is a discussion, which then raises the question in my head. Okay, if you can theoretically, you could be underweight all race long, right? Run off the racing line on the last lap or on the cool down lap, and pick up all this marble to get up extra weight to meet that requirement, that tells me if I'm a sanctioning if I'm a sanctioning body, take the tires off. Remove that factor so you can get the raw rate of the car without the wheels or the tires. Because if you could have things that are manipulated based on what's happening on track with track buildup and rubber buildup, I'm saying that's one. I'm not saying that's the right way. I'm just saying that could be an alternative. But I also know that the tires play a role into how heavy the car is. So it's hard. It's hard to balance that. But I'm saying
that opens up another can of worms, because a lot of the series that I've raced in, what they'll do is, and this has happened to me, we come off the track and the tires are actually part of the tech process.
Correct.
You have to measure certain parts of the car. I mean, there's times they've cut holes in our tires and then sent them off to a lab to be tested to see if there's any materials that don't come out of the box per se with the tire. So that's part of the entire process.
It is, which you won't be able to do that. Like that was just a thought. Like, okay, if it's the tire, that's the issue, and that's one thing that the driver can literally just drive over a different portion of asphalt or concrete to get pickup to get more weight on the tire. I mean, that's one easy way to say, oh, just forget about the tires. Obviously, it's not.
I don't know if I'm going to be talking about that too much because I've used that plenty of times. But
I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm saying like that you could do it. Like, okay, like it's fine. So, and there were people that are like, oh, if he would have just picked up a little bit more, he would have been fine. But like,
woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Like, okay, he was also on 35 lap old tires. I mean, those things were gone. Like those things, his tire management was insane that race. The fact that he could still hold off Hamilton for the time period that he did, and his teammate, obviously Hamilton was trying to hold back Piastri. Still so impressive to show you how good George is. But either way, that is that topic. We do have some news about where some drivers are going. Carlos Sainz specifically to Williams. I know you're shaking your head. I know you don't like it. I'm going to give my 2 cents and you have the rest of 498. I like Carlos Sainz at Williams. I use that again. I love Carlos Sainz at Williams for a couple reasons why. I love people. I'm not talking about Logan Sargent, so let's remove the emotion behind that. There's a lot of fans who don't like how Williams treated Logan Sargent. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Carlos Sainz and Williams being together. James Vowles is a very calculated, data-driven individual, and he's going to lead this team to make smart calculations. Carlos Sainz is one of the most talented drivers in the paddock. Him teaming up with Albon and them being a duo, I think is going to bring a level of expertise and information to the car that may not be shown in year 1, may not be shown in year 2 exactly. I made a bold statement on somebody's story. I think it was Chicane Media. Shout out to Chicane Media in a Chicane Media podcast. I think Carlos Sainz will win a championship with Williams in the next 6 years.
I mean,
just saying. It's a bold claim. You could call me an idiot, but you heard it here first.
Is it bold? Yes. Impossible? I don't know. I'm not necessarily upset that he's leaving. I'm not upset that that Sargent is leaving Williams. Yes, I am upset about that. You know, I love seeing the American driver in there. Rumors are that he might be going to IndyCar, which would be cool. But my thing is, I saw this one meme that he was going to Mercedes. I'm like, that'd be something. But he was approached by a lot of different teams. Now, obviously, we don't know what these approaches are. Who knows? Williams could have signed a fat check for him. You know, I'm not saying that these guys are money driven, but I mean, traveling all over the world, being away from your family for a long period of time, you'd have to pay me some good money to do that.
Yeah, exactly. You know? And Carlos Sainz is a very sought after driver in the lineup. So Mercedes needs a spot. I can't imagine they didn't have talks.
I wouldn't have been surprised if he ended up at Red Bull.
Yeah, with Sergio. Yeah, which Sergio getting the boot, I guess I should say.
Yeah,
Potentially, we don't know yet. That's still up in the air.
that's still up in the air, which is incredible. Which I think I wouldn't be surprised if they kept Sergio because Sergio's a team player.
100%. Yeah.
They don't want someone who's, obviously they want to be fast and they want to finish 1-2, but they want
You can't have two Maxes.
yeah. Mercedes, that could have been a possibility, or Red Bull. But even looking a little further down the grid, there's some other spots that are still open that could have been good, but he's headed to Williams. Could he win a championship there? That's a long shot.
I gave it 6 years. Okay.
That is true. I mean, but we're giving 6 years to a team that is struggling to make it inside the top 15, let alone the points.
Albon's been running somewhat consistently the last couple races, so
Albon has. But is that because? I mean, I'm a fan of Logan Sargent. Is that because? But look at Logan Sargent's film. Is that because he's a shit driver?
Yeah.
Do I like saying that? No, but it could be the truth. It couldn't be. It could not be. Or is it like you said? Is he getting the shaft from Williams?
Right. Exactly.
So
I mean, it's still a lot of stuff happening. I mean, you still have a seat open in Alpine. You still have a seat open in the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls. You still have a seat open in Mercedes. And let me tell you something really quick. A driver that I think will be a Ferrari driver after Lewis Hamilton's gone is Ollie Behrman, who is going to be in Haas. Obviously, Haas is affiliated with Ferrari. I think they are going to go ahead.
Do you think Hamilton will retire with Ferrari?
I think Hamilton will run his last full-time season with Ferrari. I think he may retire a Mercedes driver. I think he should do one of those things like you see in the NFL very commonly, where a player plays his career with give you a good example, like Jason Witten. He played with the Cowboys. He's a Tennessee guy. Shout out to him. Then he went to another team. They came back and played, or came back and signed like a 10-day contract with it. There we go. There's a national championship hat. There's a natty hat. National champions. National champions. Yes, sir. I think it'd be cool to see him sign like a 1-day contract, finish legally, contractually ending his time with Mercedes. I think he will finish his career though as a driver at Ferrari, 100%. 100%.
I think it's going to be one of those things where it's kind of like a Tom Brady, kind of going back to that same NFL analogy, where he finished off his career at Tampa Bay, but he became most notable and everything for his time at New England.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what Lewis Hamilton's going to be known for, is Mercedes, 100%. Like, and we could be, let me just tell you, Ferrari isn't a shitty team.
No.
Lewis Hamilton going to Ferrari could be the next championship we see from Ferrari.
I mean,
He's got a
lot of motivation. I mean,
and the money that comes with Lewis Hamilton. Money and motivation can go a lot in this world. You can do a lot of things in this world, as Chad now brushes his hair on the podcast.
I have been bullied for a lot of things in my life, and I've become very happy with who I am as a person and in my body. There's one thing I'm self-conscious about, and it's my damn hair. Don't know why, but it's the only thing I'm self-conscious about is my hair. I don't know why. Okay? Look at that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, okay. Let's talk about this. We'll dissect this a little bit, okay? Because your hair is much more curly than mine. Okay, so your long hair is not new, but it's new to you. This is going to get very off topic of racing, by the way. But
I was about to say, what is this?
We're talking about hair now. Do you go to like a Fantastic Sam's or a Great Clips or a Sports Clips, or do you go to somebody who actually...
I haven't had a consistent barber in probably 5 years.
Okay, but when you did you go to one of those places?
I went to a Great Clips.
Okay. I've gone to Fantastic Sam's not my whole life, for the last probably 12 years, because the same lady has cut my hair the last 12 years. She's fantastic. She knows my hair exactly. I recommend going to, I'm going to do this for the wedding, go to a place called Boardroom. If you want to spend, you're going to pay a little bit more. I think a haircut's about $50 to $60. But if you want to get I don't want to say higher level, but it is what it is. There's a difference between Great Clips, Sports Clips, all those places, and an actual men's haircut / salon. You know what I mean? go and get some thoughts and figure out, what you want to do with it. And they can manipulate your hair in any way you want to look. But I got to say, the long hair is good. I love the long hair. I'm cutting my hair for the wedding, obviously. But like
tomorrow, I am going to Scissors and Scotch. It is in Franklin. I have a friend who I went to high school with who works there. And she said she's going to give me a discount, so that's the main reason I'm going. But
wait, hold on. I think that's the place I went to. I thought it was Boardroom. No, it's Scissors and Scotch. Absolutely, that's the last place I got my hair cut at. 100%. Like
you remember going go-karting with Adam and Hannah?
No way. She was working at the sushi place.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Shout out to Hannah and Adam. Also, if you want the best photographer in Nashville, Tennessee, go reach out to Stagner Photos. Anyways, so she works there now?
Yeah.
No freaking way.
You get a haircut on some scotch? That'd be the move.
Bro, I'm telling you, like, this is the exact place I went. Yeah, I thought it was Boardroom. No, it's Scissors and Scotch. Absolutely, dude. There you go. So is she? Yeah. Did she? We're getting so off topic now.
I don't.
You don't know? Okay.
I don't know. I probably have that conversation. I just coughed and scared my dog, who's sitting right over there. God dang. Switching the water.
Yeah, yeah.
This was sitting in my brother's room, and knowing my brother, I don't know if this was a risk, if this was water or not. But I'm kidding. That was a joke. I won't say it was a joke to Ryan because I know he doesn't listen to this. Anyway, but I think that's pretty much all for Formula One. We still have a little bit more time. They're on their summer break right now. But I think it's time for us to move on to our local racing report.
I think it is, for sure. I think it is. I'm very curious to see if she has availability.
She is completely open tomorrow. I'm going at 11 a.m.
I don't see her on the schedule.
She texted me it.
The one in Brentwood?
Franklin.
Oh. I went to the one in Brentwood. Okay. Why don't you go to the one in I guess that was it. Yeah. Okay.
Because I have a friend in Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. We are heading just south of where me and John are, just north of where me and John are, to Kentucky.
You have gotten into the dyslexic portion of the Flag to Flag podcast with our. We do the same thing. I do the same thing. That's why I say that, Chad. I say it with all the love in my heart because I do the same thing sometimes. So.
I know. We are headed to Kentucky, more specifically Western Kentucky Speedway and Nebo, Kentucky. This was on the 20th of July, so it was a couple weeks ago. But they had the CRUSA Street Stocks, the Factory Stocks, Rusty Bolt, that's an interesting name for a division, Mini Stocks, and Economies was a division. Some interesting divisions we have here, but here are the CRUSA Street Stocks. Started 6th, came home 3rd in the number 82 machine, Zach Harris. Started 4th, came home 2nd in the number 3M machine is Justin McDaniel. And the number 118 started 2nd, came home with the checkered flag. It's Terry Young. Congratulations to your CRA Street Stocks top 3 right there. Now heading on to the Factory Stocks, which we had a lot of mix-ups around here. Started 20th, finished 3rd in the number 54 is Travis Etherton. Started 12th, finished 2nd in the number 28C is Paul Sponsel. And started 8th, came home with the win in the number 02 is Justin Corner. Congratulations to your top 3 in the Factory Stock division. Now heading on down to our Rusty Bolt division. Started 3rd, finished 3rd, and the number 12W is Doyle Ware. And the number Y9 and started 6th, came home 2nd is Max Junker. Started where he finished at the top spot, number 12, Tommy Wilson. Congratulations to your top 3 in the Rusty Bolt division. Headed on now to our Mini Stock division. Started 3rd, came home 3rd. Was a 29 of Trey Prowell. Started 2nd, finished 2nd. Number 14, Jared Ball. Started 1st, finished 1st in the 911 car. Caleb Casey. Now for our economies, which I still think is a very interesting name for a division. Started 8th, finished 3rd. The number 1B, Camden Burden. Started 3rd, finished 2nd. The number 71 is Josh Parker. And started 5th, finished 1st. Number 33, Madison Morris. Those are your economies. If you would like your local short track shouted out on the Flag to Flag podcast, email flagtoflag10@gmail.com or hit us up on any of our social media channels. Listen out for those at the end of the episode, and make sure you go to your local short track and bring a friend. This week's Flag to Flag at the track will be, once again, Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. They have their Bass Tire Family Night. I will be there all day Friday, and all day Saturday, and John is still debating on if he's going to end up going or not.
Bro, we'll see. There's a lot of wedding stuff we got to do, dude. So like, I'm up in the air on that.
You can come see me. You won't see the better looking one of us, but you at least see me. It was a compliment towards you, John.
I know. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for the compliment.
He's blushing. You still trying to get a haircut appointment?
No, I'm looking at the NASCAR calendar, bro.
Okay. Well,
I do need a haircut though. I do need a haircut before the wedding. I am going to go. It's a great, like, they do a great job. You've never been, have you?
No.
They do a really good job. At least I went to the one in Maryland Farms, so Brentwood, but like it's top notch. It's good shit. But yeah, well, cool. Let's I will not be at the track. I will be watching possibly some racing this Saturday night, but obviously tuning into our next topic this weekend, which is NASCAR. NASCAR is back from the summer break. Also, we got to say, IndyCar is on their summer break till the 17th, and Formula One is on their summer break for quite a while now, until Monza. So, forgot to mention that. But yeah, NASCAR's back, Chad, talking about what's happened the last 3 weeks, or last 3 races. You had Chicago, you had Pocono, you had Indy. You were at Chicago, got a vlog out. If you haven't checked it out, go look at that. Really cool. See some behind the scenes stuff, see some cars flipping. It's actually kind of insane. But Alex Bowman.
Typical Tuesday night at the summer shootout.
Typical Tuesday night. You saw SVG win the Xfinity Series. Really cool to watch that. You had Alex Bowman bring home the win there in Chicago. And then you had Blaney win at Pocono and Larson win at Indianapolis in the return, which is a very controversial win based off of that last lap. And I guess let's talk about this upcoming week. We have Richmond. We're back at Richmond for the Cookout 400.
This race at Richmond this will be the first ever points-paying NASCAR race where drivers and teams will have a choice of running an alternate compound.
Yep.
Tire compound. It will be a red-ringed, red-lettered tire. So now that would make it for 3 official NASCAR tires: a red-lettered, softer compound tire,
yep,
the traditional yellow-leathered normal tire, and then the white-lettered rain tire.
Yep.
And speaking of the rain tire, shortly before we got this, before we started the show, the NASCAR Youth Series was supposed to race this weekend at Richmond, but due to severe weather in the area coming up, they have completely canceled the NASCAR Youth Series race at Richmond.
It's supposed to pour. Like from tomorrow to Saturday, it's supposed to rain like crazy.
And that's where most of their stuff happens.
Yeah. Well, that sucks. Hate to see that.
Sucks for that, but yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan with it in Formula One. Not a fan with it in IndyCar. I'm interested to see what might happen with NASCAR, but to be honest, one of my big things with Formula One is I don't like this whole DRS, which is going away in 2026. DRS, tire compound, ERS, all this stuff. I like NASCAR because you get in the car and you drive.
Yeah.
All right? That's why I like NASCAR. That's why I have like IndyCar, because there's more of a racing aspect into it. But I don't know. I think it could be interesting. I just don't want this to become a huge game. I don't want it to become what it was, say, 8, 9, 10 years ago in Formula One, where they had 12 different tire compounds you could choose from.
Yeah.
I kind of like how it is now. I mean, in a perfect world, I wouldn't want to have any. The medium tire. That's what you get the entire race.
Yeah. Well, I understand it though. I do. I understand that side. I think if it can be done well, sure. I mean, yeah. It adds an extra level of strategy which I love
Without a doubt.
strategy. I love the strategic element of racing. The one scary part of this is we've seen this tire at North Wilkesboro. It didn't do jack shit. Like literally, Joey Logano was on the same left side tires the entire race. Like it didn't do justice. And so I'm curious, are we going to see NASCAR do what they did at Bristol and go too far in the wrong direction, right? Or
Maybe.
or are we going to see this in its completely opposite way where, yeah, there's going to be advantage because it's supposed to be an advantage for a short period of time that's going to fall off, right? Where the normal tire, not the option tire, but the normal tire that it'd be on is a normal, consider it a long run tire.
That is true, but I will say this: at North Wilkesboro, that was a completely new paved track.
Correct.
They already had because they had the Cars Tour and the ASA Stars Tour with the late model stocks and the pro late models racing there.
Yep.
Pro late models and the super late models racing there. They also had the truck series, so that track was getting pretty well rubbered in, leading up to
the
race that we had. So I don't think that was good. Now we go to somewhere like Richmond. It's no Darlington where it's like a cheese grater, It's not like that, but at the same time, it's not a freshly paved track.
Yeah.
So I think this is an interesting one, but I'm also interested. This is a short track. What could this do on an intermediate track? What could this do on a speedway? What could it do on a super speedway? Those are all things that I would like to see before they make. Do I feel like I don't like them doing these experiments on points races, especially this close to the playoffs?
Yeah, because what it's going to do, and this is why I should have made my picks and made this statement. Like, it could be a complete crapshoot. Like this strategy. Oh,
breaking news.
Is it about Chase? Is it about Chase Elliott?
No. You told me before. Breaking news. Travis Petersons will continue working with Michael McDowell as crew chief for the number 71 for Spire Motorsports in 2025.
Oh, cool. Okay. Awesome.
So that just came out. But Chase Elliott, I'm not seeing anything about Chase Elliott.
Okay, well, there's some things about Chase Elliott. But either way, I think here's the thing, going back to that topic of the tires, it really could be, you could see somebody who isn't supposed to win just because strategy, they lucked into it. There's no data behind this tire. There's no, I mean, there is, but not of substantial data. You can't look back and be like, okay, we've had 15 races with this tire. This is the trend. This is what we're going to do. It's literally going to be risks. And that's where, like, my picks for this week, I should have made this in the video. Because I made my picks and we'll give our picks here in a second. But like, it's one of those races where you got to, proceed with caution with who you pick to win. Because in the spring, it was MTJ all the way until that last caution.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm excited to see a new experiment, but I think there needs to be more testing that's not in a points race. Like, you could literally fuck up the whole field.
You could, but looking at it from NASCAR's perspective is this. The only mass amount of time they have that without a points-paying race would be during the offseason, where throughout the months of November, December, and January, the tracks are completely different in the cold weather compared to what they're going to be when we come back in these warmer months.
True.
So, and the weather plays a huge factor in tires and track conditions and stuff like that. Well, okay, then we go to North Wilkesboro and we try it there. Okay, that's one thing, but that's one race.
Yeah.
So, in a way, NASCAR is at a crossroads here. And I think either one they're gonna have to bite the bullet on one or the other. The only other race I could think about doing this at is the Clash, which NASCAR executives earlier last week had a meeting with the mayor of Sao Paulo in possibly having the Clash at Interlagos.
That'd be insane. Well, Daniel Suarez just got the win in the NASCAR Brazil Series. What?
He got a penalty.
Well, no, he won the second race.
Oh, he won the second race? Okay.
No, I know. No, I've already made a video on this. So the first race, he won by time, and then got a 5-place grid penalty. The second race, he technically finished in second, but a penalty was applied to the first place driver, so he got the win in race 2.
Say what you want about Daniel Suarez and his performance. He is the only NASCAR driver in history to win on the NASCAR Mexico Series, the NASCAR Brazilian Series, and now the NASCAR Cup Series.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but okay, you've got me intrigued. You've got me hook, line, and sinker with this Chase Elliott. You mentioned something about Hendrick at the start before we started recording. So, what is it?
So I don't know how official. There hasn't been anything yet. I'm kind of surprised. But Hendrick Motorsports, obviously, and you know this, I'm going to pull up the video so you can see it. Hendrick Motorsports. It's already announced. It's already here. It got announced 4 hours ago.
What?
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Wait, that's what you got me worried about?
Yeah. In place of Hooters. They're replacing Hooters for this race. That's the big news.
What, you a fan of Hooters or something?
No, I was just saying, like, it's big because Hooters is such a... You asshole. No. I see you are. But no, the Hooters obviously in Hendrick fell through, and so they needed a sponsor, so they're bringing Coke on.
So this isn't just a one-off thing. Coca-Cola is replacing Hooters as a sponsor for.
I don't know the terms. I have not heard any terms yet about how long it's going to be, but obviously Chase is on that lineup for Coke drivers, and I don't know if it's a long-term partnership.
Okay, I didn't know this. I didn't know.
Yeah, so Hooters is gone. Like, really quick. Like, we're never going to see this anymore. We're not going to see this car ever.
Damn.
Again. And I got this. I was like, oh shoot, it's the first 2024 available. This thing might be worth a little pretty penny. Anyways, but yeah, so Coca-Cola is replacing Hooters for this race. I don't know if it's going to be a contractual thing that is going to be a long-term deal, but it's cool to see Coke doing a Chase Elliott car. It's cool to see they got slim chickens on the side. I'm assuming that's just a chicken place, but it's a cool car. It's a really cool car for Chase Elliott there.
Without a doubt. And I will say this. The only thing I necessarily don't like about this is because is for a few different things. I never liked when series sponsors also sponsor a specific driver.
Oh. Yeah.
Now this is apparent in many different ones of NASCAR, but with Chase Elliott specifically being Coca-Cola being a NASCAR series sponsor. I mean, and with the reputation Chase Elliott already has, that Hendrick has, in the eyes of some people, I could see why it wouldn't be the best. And but speaking of Hendrick and favoritism, as Ryan Blaney so graciously put it, fucking golden boy. Kyle Larson wins the race at the Brickyard, which was, did you see this stat? So they went into overtime.
Yeah.
The race, it was the Brickyard 400. The race went 417.5 miles.
No way.
17.
No
IndyCar
way.
number.
No way. That's insane. That's wild. I think it's crazy. Like, those numbers work.
You already know that NASCAR milked that.
Oh yeah. No, they did. And so man, that's crazy. That is crazy. Well, speaking about winners, we got to get onto our picks for the Cookout 400. Chad, I'm putting you on the spot. Who is your pick to win this weekend? I'm going to give you my top 10, top 5, top 3 winning pick. Who is your pick to win this weekend in Richmond?
I've got two people in mind, both of which I feel like okay, well, actually, one of which is if this guy's luck turns around. Another one is if this guy has a good day.
Okay. So big ifs here.
Chris Buescher or Kyle Busch.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Kyle Busch needs his luck to turn around. Chris Buescher needs a good day, which he's had good days before at Richmond.
Yeah.
RFK has had good days at Richmond. So that's a very real possibility.
I'll give you KB for a reason. I think they're going to be desperate, and if there's a strategy point where they can go against the grain, they're going to do it. I like that. I like that pick. Buescher, obviously a good pick. I think that's a really good, solid pick. RFK will be strong. I think they'll both finish the top 10, but I don't think they're going to win.
The only reason I didn't say Keselowski is because Keselowski, I guarantee you, will work to make sure Buescher
gets in.
So that way they're both in and they both can have, hopefully, a decent playoff run.
100%. I agree. Okay, so you got Buescher. You got Busch. Both Bushes.
10.
Busch. My top 10 prediction to driver to finish anywhere in the top 10. It's going to be kind of shocking. I think it's going to be, and I think he could very well battle for the win, but I think it's a safe bet. Christopher Bell, top 10 at Richmond. Easy. Okay. Top 5.
Top 5, but okay.
Well, just, yes. I'm making a very safe bet for the top 10 there. Top 5, I'm going Joey Logano. Joey Logano's been fast. He finished second here in the spring. He won the race at North Wilkesboro. He very well could have won this race in the spring. Joey Logano, top 5. Top 3, I'm going to go Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's always fast at Richmond. He won here in the spring. But I think we're going to have a redemption tour for this guy. I've picked him before. He will bite you in the ass. It sucks, but he's good. He led the most laps here in the spring. MTJ.
Oh.
MTJ. Yeah, MTJ led the most laps in the spring. Yeah, who do you think I was going to pick?
Well, you said you didn't really like the guy, so I was like, is it Denny Hamlin?
No, I never said that.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Denny Hamlin.
No, I picked Denny Hamlin to go third, top 3. That's Denny Hamlin's my top 3 bet. He's good. MTJ is my winning bet. My pick to win is Martin Truex Jr.
Okay.
I'd
like to see him have a good playoff run in this year.
He's gonna more than likely, unless he has a string of like Kyle Busch bad luck, he'll make it in by points.
Yeah.
And so, but that's my top 10 prediction. I think all 4 of those guys are going to finish top 10. I'll even extend it. I think Brad K and Chris Buescher will both finish in the top 10. So you got from top to bottom, you got MTJ finishing first. I have Denny Hamlin top 3. I have Joey Logano top 5, Christopher Bell top 10. I'll even throw Chris Buescher and Brad K in there for top 10 race as well. Don't forget about Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott also could be in the top 10 there. So I'm not picking a top 10, but that may be a ridiculous bet to make, picking 6 or 7 drivers to finish in the top 10. I think any of those guys can 100% finish in the top 10.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good stopping point.
I think so too.
For this episode, yeah. I mean,
so yeah, John, tell them where they can find us.
Also, yes, make sure to, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube or on Spotify or wherever you're listening to this. Share this with somebody who's a motorsports fan or that you think would enjoy this show. You can share the link directly. If you want to get more content from us, from the website, from things we got going on in the racing world, follow at Flag to Flag Podcast everywhere. Facebook, X, TikTok, and on Instagram, it's at Flag to Flag _podcast. We have reached the checkered flag once again. I need to get a little checkered flag and wave it.
You say that every time.
I know. I don't have anything with me. Like I have a Davey Allison flag. I guess I could wave that.
They sell them at the fairgrounds.
Little checkered flags.
Not like little, like yeah.
I'm gonna get one. Just do this.
Well, you should come out then.
I should come out. I'm waving the imaginary checkered flag on this podcast episode. Make sure to tune in. We'll see you next time.